lovely to be with all of you. Congratulations on 90 years of success. LULAC celebrating the success of your past and also envisioning the importance and the work to be done and the challenges to be faced in your future. Every organization is challenged to give itself new life with every new generation. And whether it's a person or an institution or a country, we cannot give birth to new life without radical truth-telling. Cindy said silence is not an option, and I agree with her. She also said that the war room which must be set up is important, and that war room begins in our head. That war against the part of us that would be silent. And so I must say, I am not a Latina woman, but I believe that the love that will save the world is not just love for our own children, it's also love for children on the other side of town and children on the other side of the world. The love that will save the children, the world, is love for everybody's children, whether they're our children or not. So if the Latina women weren't going to do it, although I assume you did it in your head, let this woman do it for you. For a Trump administration official to come here and talk about all it's doing for Latino children, well, what about those kids who are living in terror tonight that ICE raids might begin this weekend? Don't you be silent. No young woman in America should be silent, because that's where complicity begins. Latino children are doing so well with this administration. Thousands and thousands who are so afraid that those ICE raids are going to begin tonight. And what about those thousands of children who are in those detainment camps? Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you something. You make me president, everybody responsible for the state-sponsored kidnapping down at the border, and everyone responsible for the chronic perpetration of trauma upon those children will be held accountable to the full extent of the law. This is America. You know, I'm so aware as a woman running for office. I'm so aware of the freedoms we have here. You lose your freedoms if you don't celebrate them, and you lose your freedoms if you don't use them. In America, we are not silent in the face of lies. And in America, we are not silent in the face of injustice. In America, we are not silent in the face of propaganda. Ladies and gentlemen, I grew up in Houston, Texas. My father was an immigration lawyer, and my brother is an immigration lawyer. I grew up around so much Latino culture, and in addition to that, because my father was an immigration lawyer, I attended from the time I was a small child, naturalization ceremonies. I would watch people, immigrants to this country who became citizens. I knew at a very early age that when someone became a citizen of the United States, that in order to do so, they had to learn more American civics, more American government, more American history than does the average American who was born here. All four of my grandparents came through Ellis Island. All four of my grandparents were escaping oppression. I was taught as a child that seeking asylum is not a crime. Seeking asylum is a statutory right. I was taught as a child that the immigrant brings to this country as much as this country brings to the immigrant. I was taught as a child that no matter what minority we are, and I'm a Jew, but I was taught that every minority must always stand firm for the rights and justice towards every minority, because as my father used to say, they might not be doing it to us today, but always be on the sides of whoever they're doing it to, because they might get back to you. And let us be very clear, ladies and gentlemen, there is a subtle and turbulent, and it's not so subtle if you have eyes to see, contest going on in this country today. And it could not be expressed more dramatically than by what is happening with the demonization of the immigrants on the southern border. And it is a contest for who this country belongs to. And this country, I'm sorry, the greatness of this country is that we are unified in our diversity. The greatness of this country is that we are not all Anglo-Saxon white Protestants. The glory and the journey and the brilliance of this country is that we are black and we are white and we are brown and we're Jewish and we are Muslim and we are Christian and we are Hindu and we are gay and we are straight and we are LGBTQ and we are conservative and we're liberal. We're all those things and we're proud of it. And what's important is that when we see anyone treating anyone, when we see anyone representing the United States government, treating any child as we would not wish for our child to be treated, then you better believe it, as American women, we will not shut up. And that is what I have learned. That is what I have learned as a woman. That is what I have learned as a Jew. That is what I've learned as a member of a minority myself. There is a certain point in life where you simply have to say, you did it to my grandparents, and you're not going to do it to my kids. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations on the success of your past. Congratulations on the power that lies within you. I stand with you. I was at Homestead in Florida. I was there. And I just want to conclude by telling you something very impactful that was my experience in Homestead, Florida. Of course, I was impacted by what I heard was going on inside the detainment center. But I was equally impacted by what I saw on this side, outside the walls. And that were people who go there day in and day out in the Miami heat to bear witness to the agony that is going on there. The bad news is what's going on there. The good news is how many Americans are not shutting up, how many Americans are bearing witness. Martin Luther King talked about a coalition of conscience, and that is what America needs today. Ladies and gentlemen, racism, bigotry, hatred, xenophobia, some of the worst aspects of the American psyche have been harnessed for political purposes. But there are a lot more lovers than there are haters. The problem is that the haters are strategized today, and they hate with conviction. Conviction is a force multiplier. What we need now, there are a lot more lovers than haters, but our lovers have been whispering while hate has been shouting. Love needs to love now with as much conviction as is displayed by those who hate. Those are the times in which we live. And particularly I want to say to all the young Latina women, it's wonderful what they did 90 years ago, but it's your time now. It's our time now. And in order for us to truly honor our ancestors, we stand in solidarity with them who would not shut up when it was time to speak, who would not whisper when hate was loud, and would do for all of our children what others have done for us. God bless you. Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you.